So it's Danny Flexen here for Seconds Out. Delighted to be joined by Katie Healy. Katie, how you doing?
I'm good, thank you, Danny. Thank you for having me.
No, anytime. Dennis Hobson's very high on your talent, I think it's fair to say. Only made your pro debut last week. Just tell us, first of all, how the journey began. I believe you're part of the Rachel Ball camp.
I am, yes. So I've been with Trojan now for probably just over 6 years. Started off in kickboxing. So I started kickboxing when I was 11. Had a couple of years off, didn't realise how much I missed it. And then about a year ago, we decided to just go for it and have a go at the pro ranks.
Good stuff. And what was it that prompted the transition from kickboxing to boxing after your time out? Why didn't you go back to kickboxing, for example?
I think I'd been saying it for a while in the kickboxing that I'd kind of achieved everything and more that I wanted to. In the end, I won 3 world titles, and it was always a big goal of mine to win one. So to leave the sport with 3 was absolutely amazing. And I'm always up for that next challenge. And I think watching how big women's boxing's gone over the last year or just over, it was really inspiring to watch, and seeing it all on the TV it just gave me that buzz to think I want to get back in there. I want to try something new. And when I went back to the gym, more and more people are making that transition to boxing now. And the gym's thriving at the moment with how many boxers we've got there. So yeah, it was just something fun. It was something new, and it was a new challenge for myself. And I learned so much at the start, and I'm learning probably even more now. I'm learning more and more each day. So yeah, for me, it was just that. It was that next step, next challenge.
How long did you do as an amateur before deciding to turn over?
Didn't do any.
Didn't do any amateurs. So just went straight from kickboxing to pro boxing.
Yeah. I sparred with a few amateur girls, and it was something we considered, but it just didn't suit my style. I did professional kickboxing for such a while that the professional boxing, it just suited me a little bit more. So we kind of just went in head first and thought, you know what, let's just go for it. And it was the perfect timing and opportunity to go into it at the minute with women's boxing. It just blew up, hasn't it?
And did you already know Rachel from kickboxing, and she helped you make the transition?
Yeah, I've known Rachel since I was probably about 15. We started off as kickboxing sparring partners, and then a few years later I joined Trojan and joined the gym. So yeah, I've known Rachel for a while, and it's perfect really having someone the same build and doing the same thing as you at the gym, and even if it's not just training, you've got someone there just to have a chat to and have the support there as well.
It must be quite inspiring as well, the fact that she's gone quite far already as a pro, still early in her career, knowing that someone from a very similar background, someone you know well, has achieved that, must make it seem more achievable to you.
It's amazing, and like you say, to have someone on your doorstep achieving that as well and watching them on the TV, it's really good, and it's massive for the sport, and it's nice for all of the other girls at the gym as well. Like, we've got the young girls there that look up to the likes of Rach too, and it's really inspiring, and it's lovely to know someone so close as well, not just seeing someone on the TV and knowing of them, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. How did you find your professional debut? I mean, it was on Fight Zone, which is a new platform, but it meant a lot more people were watching than perhaps they would have been otherwise, because we're in COVID, so not a lot of fans are allowed in at the moment. But you knew that everyone was watching via the internet. How did you find the whole process?
Absolutely loved it. Really loved it, and I think you can probably tell that from my reaction during the fight and after. But no, it was an amazing platform, and to have such a good backing from Dennis and Fight Zone on my debut as well, it just made it that even more special to me. And it's definitely one I won't forget. And I've watched it back already, and I'm already writing notes on what I can improve for next time. But no, absolutely loved it. It was a great experience.
How has the training changed from what you used to do for kickboxing to what you do now for traditional boxing?
Oh, I'd say it's changed in every aspect, to be honest with you. I'd say the intensity, I'm just pushing it even more now with things like strength and conditioning. I never used to really do that in the kickboxing, but since going professional in the boxing now, it's something I thought, you know what, I'm going to give that a go now. So that's something new that I've been exposed to during the last camp. But even just little things like training at the gym, like making that transition from boxing to kickboxing, it's so different in every way. Like, you could ask me a question about one thing and I'll be, yeah, it's so different that way too. But I think that's probably why I'm enjoying it so much, to be honest, because it is so different. Like, I'm not doing the same thing that I used to. And every session I'm learning something, or I'm breaking out of an old habit. So yeah, that's all I can say really, is just that everything I could think of is different to what the kickboxing used to be. Every part of the training camp, and every session's different as well.
And is it Gav Burrows, is he your main trainer?
It is, yeah, Gavin.
Yeah, he's really good, isn't he?
Yeah.
Have you had any feedback from Dennis about when you might next be out?
We're just looking to get out as much as we can over the next upcoming months, to be honest, and get as much exposure as possible. A couple of dates have been mentioned, but we're just after a bit of confirmation on those. So I think he's probably going to speak to my manager this week, and hopefully we'll have some news soon. But I'm eager to get back out there as soon as I can. Obviously, I'm back in the gym now, working on things that I've looked at, that we can improve for the next fight. So yeah, I think all I'll say at the minute is that I want to be out there as soon as I can and as much as I can over the year.
What weight do you think you'll settle at when it's time? I know it'll be a way in the future, but when it's time to start challenging for championships?
I think super bantamweight. I think that's because towards like the end of my kickboxing career, that was the weight I really started to get comfortable at. I feel it's the weight that I can probably be my fittest at, yet still be my strongest at as well. But you never know, it can change, especially as you get older, that your body changes constantly. But I'd say for now that's the category that I'm aiming for.
And what do you do outside of boxing? You work, obviously. Just tell us a little bit about your job.
Yeah, I work full time. I work in a human resources department for Goodyear in Birmingham.
And what's that like? Not just what the job's like, but what's it like balancing that with your full-time training now?
Do you know what? It actually worked really well. I think it was good for me because I did a placement year when I was at university, and the hours were ridiculous. Like, we worked so much, and that was one of the reasons that I had like such a long break from training, was just because I couldn't get that training in. And I think experiencing that, going into what I can say like normal working hours now, it's a lot easier for me. I can get the training in before, after work, and we've got the benefits of working from home at the minute as well, so it's made it a lot easier for this fight camp.
I was going to say, it doesn't look like the office.
I was going to say, the benefits of working at home, I'm just in my pajamas all the time. I've only got changed for this interview and I've just put a jumper on.
Oh, you didn't need to do that. We'd have accepted a fluffy onesie. We don't care.
I was going to say, I'd have been in my dressing gown.
Talking of that, a bit of an awkward segue, but we've already seen, and we've seen it with lots of female boxers, they get a certain type of feedback that perhaps male boxers don't get as often. We've already seen it with some of your stuff, particularly, I think you might have put up a weigh-in image or something last week, and it got a lot of comments, not all of them particularly palatable. And I just want to ask how you feel about that side of things. Obviously, you must have expected it. You speak to Rachel as well. I'm sure she's experienced it. But how do you deal with that side of things? It can't be easy.
To be honest, it doesn't really bother me. I've never really been someone to take anything to heart. I just take, yeah, it's as simple as that, really. I laugh at most of the comments and probably have a bit of banter with it. But yeah, it doesn't bother me at all.
Oh, well, that's good to know, because it's only going to get worse, I would imagine. But
I know. To be honest, I kind of have to have a bit of a thick skin in my job anyway, so I'm kind of used to it.
Oh, yeah, I suppose working in HR, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, so just before we let you go, we always do this the first time we speak to anyone on the channel. Just let people out there know how they can find you on the different social media platforms. After what I've just said, maybe you don't want to let them know, but feel free.
Yeah, I'm on most social media platforms. So I'm on Instagram, I'm on Twitter. I've even got a fight page on Facebook as well. Instagram and Twitter are exactly the same. So it's my full name, Katie Healy, and then XX at the end. And then on Facebook, it's just Katie Healy Pro Boxer. And yeah, I post as much as I can, try and keep it active. So yeah, just give me a like or a follow.
And stay out the DMs. Good stuff. All right, really appreciate it. We'll have to have another catch up when you've got the next fight date in the books. But great to speak to you, and I better let you get back to work.
Perfect. Thank you ever so much for your time.
All right, and you take care.